Have you ever considered how the laws of physics intimately intertwine with the human body? From the way we stand to the way we move, the principles of physics are always at play. We should thank gravity, for instance, for keeping us from floating off into space every time we get a little too enthusiastic on a trampoline. Today, we're going to delve into some of these principles, including axis and planes, center of gravity, line of gravity, base, and starting positions. Understanding these terms will not only give us a new perspective on the human body and its movements, but might also make you thankful that you're not currently orbiting Earth. First up, axis and planes. Now think of an axis as an imaginary stick. This stick, or axis, is the line around which an object, such as a spinning top or a twirling dancer, rotates. Picture a kebab on a skewer, spinning succulent chunks of meat over a fire. That skewer is essentially a sagittal axis in the human body, running from our head to our toes. In the world of anatomy, we have a trio of these primary axes: the sagittal, which we've just met, the frontal, and these guys give our bodies direction, allowing us to spin, twirl, and rotate in all sorts of crazy ways. Now let's move on to planes. Planes are not just things that fly in the sky, but in anatomy, they're akin to imaginary flat cutting boards that slice and dice the body into sections. Just like the axes, we have three primary planes cutting through us. We've got the sagittal, the frontal, and the ever so popular transverse plane. These axes and planes are like unseen puppet strings, guiding our body's every move and posture. So next time you're doing the Macarena or spinning a kebab, remember the unsung heroes, the axes and the planes. Let's dive into the center of gravity. Imagine it as the life of the party, where weight is dispersed and all sides are in balance. This point is the VIP guest at the gravity party, where every part of the object wants to be around it. Now, if we talk about us humans, our party point, or the center of gravity, is usually hanging out near the navel. But this is one unpredictable VIP. It can shift its location based on our posture or movement. Think of a seesaw. The center of gravity is like the pivot point where both the kids using it balance their weight. One scrawny kid and one, let's say, generously proportioned kid want to have fun on the seesaw. They adjust their positions until they find that sweet spot where they balance perfectly. That's their center of gravity. Or picture a tightrope walker up on the rope, wobbling and teetering, but eventually balancing with perfect precision. That's the center of gravity strutting its stuff. It's all about keeping the balance no matter where the party, or in this case, the weight goes. Next up, let's dive into the amusing world of the line of gravity. Picture this. A builder is hanging his plumb line to ensure his wall is straight up and down. Now, the line of gravity is like the plumb line's more successful and universal sibling. It's an imaginary vertical line, but rather than merely determining if walls are straight, it passes through the center of gravity and extends downwards like a sci-fi laser beam. This line plays a pivotal role in our lives. It's what keeps us from wobbling around like a drunken sailor. It's as if we've got our own personal anchor, keeping us from doing the cha-cha when we'd rather just walk. So, think of it as our body's inbuilt plumb line, a firm reminder to stay upright and not become a human leaning tower of Pisa. Next up, we've got the base. Now don't get confused, we're not talking home base in a baseball game or the bass in your favorite song. In our context, base is the part of an object that is cozied up to the surface supporting it. For us bipedal beings, it's typically our feet. Picture this. Our feet are like the base of a skyscraper. They're not exactly reaching for the stars, but they're critically important. The wider our base, or in our imaginary skyscraper's case, the broader its foundation, the more stable we are. It's like a building's foundation. While it may not get the same recognition as the flashy penthouse suite, it's providing all the stability and support. So next time you're walking around, remember, your feet are your own personal skyscrapers. Wrapping things up, we've got starting positions. These are essentially the front-runner postures or poses that serve as launch pads for all movements or actions. To put it into perspective, envision a sprinter at the starting block, absolutely braced and ready to burst into action. That's a classic example of a starting position. Now, to sprinkle a bit of humor on our serious conversation, imagine this. Picture your house cat, Fluffy, crouched low, backside wiggling, eyes locked on that unsuspecting toy mouse. In cat world, that's pretty much the feline equivalent of a sprinter's starting position. Fluffy is primed and ready, just like the sprinter at the block. But instead of a gold medal, Fluffy's after the glory of capturing that crafty toy mouse. So folks, whether you're a world-class athlete or a stealthy house cat, starting positions are the cornerstone of any successful move. In summary, the human body is a fascinating example of physics in action. It's like a well-oiled machine, a complex mechanism with moving parts working in perfect harmony. The axes and planes guide our movements and postures, much like a finely tuned assembly line, never missing a beat. Then, there's the center of gravity and line of gravity that keep us balanced. Think of this as the perfect counterweight in a clock, ensuring we don't topple over. And our base, providing much-needed stability, is like the sturdy base of a skyscraper. Even our starting positions play a pivotal role, setting the stage for action, just like the ignition in a bike. Understanding these principles, we gain a greater appreciation for the complexity and elegance of our own bodies. So the next time you're standing, walking, or even performing a complex gymnastic routine, remember, it's not biology, it's physics. You're not just a bag of bones, you're a well-oiled machine in action. And that's the beauty of the human body. It's a perfect blend of science, art, and wonder. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep marveling at the wonders of the intricate machine that is the human body.